Hi everybody, welcome back to Cali Close Up. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Diana.
Diana, where are we?
We are in the Hollywood Hills.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we are going to meet Chris B. Station.
Oh, I love him.
Yes.
He's the cutest.
He has a YouTube show and he's also on a podcast with Shane Dawson.
Oh yes.
Hi, my name's Chris and I'm a failed YouTuber.
It is the most specialist day on the face of the earth. It is Janelle's birthday.
Well, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to make movies. I've always been very anxious and very shy, definitely an introvert, especially when I was younger. So while I was still at the time too young and broke to afford a film camera to be able to make a short film, I did have access to a camera and I did start vlogging. So maybe this is meant to be. That's how I'm gonna take it. So I'm hoping that this video can be a positive message to my younger self and to anyone watching that while life can be tough and it often doesn't go how we want it to go, if you keep working hard and you don't give up, it does eventually pay off.
He is just genuinely a really nice guy. At least that's what I get from
Me too.
watching him. So now I can't wait to meet him, and I think you're going to enjoy meeting him as well. So come on along with us and let's go meet Chris.
Yes.
So we are here with Chris, and he is an influencer. He does a YouTube show, a podcast show, a lot of different things, and a video, and you have a jack of all trades.
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris.
Hi, well, thank you for inviting me to do an interview. This is my first professional interview ever, so I'm terrified. Also, this house is insane. Look at this. Oh my God, gorgeous. Very intimidating. But no, I'm a videographer who's now been forced in front of the camera by a couple of my clients. And so now I've become kind of the talent, I guess, on some podcasts. And I'm also an editor, and I just love filmmaking, so I'm in it in any way that I can be.
So whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera, it's just you love being a part of it.
Yes, in any way, yeah. I love being on the
great.
set, I love making things with people, you know.
Yeah.
I relate because ever since I was little, always in front of the camera, behind the camera. My dad had this big camcorder. And he's like, here, you can have this. And I had my friend Karina, so then it was just like, let's make a show. And it was like the Karina and Sarah show.
Hi, my name is Sarah. My name is Karina.
I relate so much. Wait, was it a giant camcorder with like a VHS tape?
That's what I had. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. And I love the behind the scenes, like watching movies with the behind the scenes thing. It was like,
I could watch the behind the scenes more than the movie, I think. Just like rewatch every aspect of it, like trying to learn what it all is. And
oh, I love
Because you want to learn what they're doing, and oh, I want to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I want to be there, you know, being in that world.
You get really technical about it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But every time I watch any movie, I'm just sitting there breaking down the lighting or like, how did they do that shot or whatever. And then I ruin it for my parents because I'm like, oh, over here, I think they had like a Fresnel. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't know the name of lights. What are you saying? Stop.
Yeah. Do you notice that when you watch movies that you get technical about, like, I like the lighting in that movie, or so it's not just about the movie anymore, it's about almost looking at it from a whole different view, because you're looking at it from the cinematographer view.
Absolutely. And I went to a film school where the cinematography teacher literally would shout at us to pay attention to the technical aspects. I'm just enjoying a movie and he'd be like, what'd you see about the lighting? And I was like, oh, I don't know, that scene was really good. He's like, pay attention. Sorry.
Yeah, no getting lost in the movie.
Yeah.
So how did the failed YouTuber thing come into place? You know,
Yes.
when you said that, what the heck does that mean?
I mean, when I was much younger, because I'm an elderly gay man now. I don't know if you know, gay people age, it's like dog years. So like 33 is like 1,000 in gay.
Oh,
So no, but that's how I feel. That's what the young gays make me feel. Is this okay for TV?
Oh my God, yes.
Fine.
So that happened a long time ago. I started making YouTube videos for fun because I always wanted to be in film and make movies, but that just seemed so unattainable. But then I started seeing people on YouTube creating their channels just in their room and just making things for fun with their friends and making that a living. I was like, oh my God, you can do that? You can just make videos with friends and pay rent doing that? That's insane. So that became my #1 goal in life for a very long time, and I just made videos for many, many years and worked so hard at it for so many years, and nothing came of it. Like no one watched. I got no views. I made zero money. I went in debt, I think. You know what I mean? But I always tried, and forever I just would keep going. But then it hit a point where life and bills and work and getting older, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, and I just accepted that I had failed. In my mind, truly, I felt that I did. And then now, because of this podcast that I'm on currently, I've been thrust in front of the camera, and I have a lot more people asking me to make content than ever in my entire life, and it's strange because I truly had given up, and now people are telling me to make content.
Isn't that funny?
That's so weird how that works.
But it's, you stayed persistent, and you stayed with it, and you're still in the industry, you're doing something, It's not like you gave up entirely
and went to
a restaurant and worked, You didn't do that.
Or
You
I
didn't
would
do
say something random.
Yeah.
I also have no other life skills, so it's this or nothing.
So this is it. And it shows that the persistence paid off.
Yeah.
Because look at where you are now. You know, where you thought you couldn't have achieved it, you're achieving it, and it's coming more natural.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a hard time acknowledging that. So hearing you or
got to
people
stop
tell me,
and sit back and go, wow, I have accomplished a lot. You
Yeah,
know?
you
Thank
do.
you for saying that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just have to know, and this is a little off topic right now.
Oh, it's okay.
What's your favorite movie? Like, what's the movie that inspired you the most?
My favorite movie changes literally every week, so it's hard to say, but the very first thing that really got me into all of it was the first Star Wars.
Oh,
When
wow.
I was a kid, that blew my mind. Like, I never thought of the idea of there being aliens or, like, really of, like, futuristic technology.
Oh, yeah.
All these sort of things, like a young guy who worked on a farm more or less, who went off to like fight a war and like become a Jedi and all these things, like all of it inspired me so much and blew my mind as a child. And it just got me thinking about movies and life in a way I never had before. And so that's the thing that like really catapulted my like love for cinema.
So like
wow.
what age? Like
So young, I don't even know, like 8 or something.
Oh my
7.
gosh, you were like really little.
Yeah.
And you watched and you're like, oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
This is like cool.
And I'm
I
still
love
obsessed with
this.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to the Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland?
Yes,
yes.
we have.
When I saw the Millennium Falcon in person, I nearly cried. You made me emotional.
I bet. And I think they're having like Star Wars nights right now over at Disneyland. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, it's coming up.
Yeah, so definitely Star Wars, but there's many. Again, changes every week. But yeah.
Do you have like favorite genres and movies?
I truly just love movies. Like I just watched
In
Love
general.
Lies Bleeding, I think, the Kristen Stewart movie. I thought that was incredible. Anything from like an indie to horror. I love horror a lot,
No
actually.
way. I love horror too. I just
Do
wasn't
you?
sure. if
Yeah,
you were
we
into
do.
it. Yeah.
Are we the same person?
I know. Separated at birth right now.
No, I can see you. Like if I knew you, I've been like, let's make movies because I did it
Yeah.
with my other friend.
I'm still
I
down.
was making
if you want to
shows.
after this.
Do it. I'm
I
totally.
didn't really do the movie thing as much because we didn't have all the camera equipment.
Oh, and-
So I was doing shows. Like I was like getting my neighbors together and we were putting on a show.
Really?
Yeah, I
You're so brave to do
was
that.
totally doing like little shows.
Wow.
Like we're gonna do a show. Come on, guys.
You were
Let's
a
go.
young thespian.
I was still a young thespian.
The thing
It was
is,
all about
I'm
shows.
I was, especially when I was younger, I was way shy.
Yeah.
So
I still
I
am,
couldn't.
believe it or
Yeah,
not.
I could not.
I don't
just
believe
do
that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I'm
No.
panicking on the inside.
Well, you never know.
You're also both so sweet. You're making this like really
Oh,
easy,
I genuinely just want to know more about you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
but
to
that is
know
so
about Chris.
cool that you put on entire shows. Like,
Like
Yeah,
dance
oh yeah.
shows or
No,
what?
I would do a little of everything. It was like,
Really?
it was a variety show.
that-
Like a little comedy, a little dance, a little,
No way.
Yeah, and I got all my neighbors. And I was lucky because I lived near a foster home.
Okay.
So there's all these kids at my access.
Whoa,
So
you had
I just go over there and go, hi, can they play? Okay. And play meant you're going to be in my show.
Dude,
Yeah,
you're one step
I
ahead
know.
that I could
That's
never do
always
that.
the
Yes. The bravery that it would take.
Yeah, I would be so shy.
I mean, like, our audience was parents, but it was
Yeah.
okay. So,
Wait, were you a shy kid too? Because I feel like we have so much in common.
Dude, I was so shy. When I was little, I made friends by myself. Like I had a notebook and I would just write and make stories.
Yeah.
And I just would, I don't know. I mean, if people would make fun of me, they'd be like
People were
popcorn
mean.
reading, and they knew I was the quiet girl, and they would be like, I popcorn Sarah. And I'd be like,
Oh,
okay, I guess I have to
no.
read it out loud. And I would read it, but I wouldn't,
Oh, reading things out loud in front of like a class specifically was my nightmare as a kid.
Yes, me.
That was like,
no.
I know, like,
I get like shaky thinking about it.
Oh my God.
So then you went to what school for filming? Did you
So it doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. I think it didn't survive the pandemic, but it was called Columbia College Hollywood, and it was not far from where I live.
Okay.
And yeah, so not there anymore. I drove by the other day to show my friend this is where I went to school, and it looked like The Walking Dead, like there were weeds and vines on it. And I was like, wait, what happened? Apparently.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's where I went. I was gonna go to LA Film, not too far from here, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it was very expensive.
I wanted to go to that too, but it didn't happen. I went to CSUN instead.
Oh wow, how do you like
Yeah.
CSUN?
It was good. I went to multimedia because competitiveness of video and then video editing, and then this one counselor was like, we'll do multimedia. Multimedia, it's like you get a little bit of video editing, a little bit of filming, a little bit of computer, and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So then that's how it went.
Yeah.
It's crazy how everything here is so close, and yet it takes so long to get there.
So how did you transition from, you went to film school, and in film school you studied to do, what were you studying there? You were studying
I went
something different,
originally
right?
to be an editor.
An editor. Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you transition from editing into being behind the camera?
So I went for editing because that's the thing I always just did. Like you, I made like little home videos with my friends all the time, and I taught myself how to edit out of necessity, and then started to love it. But I was making my own things, and then my dad really talked me into it. He was like, "Well, if you want this to be your job, editing is the thing where he felt is more realistic to like make a career and like find work in." And so he really kind of encouraged me to do that, and I did, and I loved it. But I realized the more I did it and the more, as years went by, I worked as an editor for a few different companies. Yeah. And I was often just alone, just editing in a room. And I realized I love collaborating with people. I love being on a
so you're
set.
more of a people person.
I love like making things with people. That's my favorite thing in the world. And so I miss that so much. And I worked for a very small company where everyone wore 20 hats. So as I was working there, one day, one of the cinematographers called out for one of the web series they were filming. And I was just like, oh, I went to film school. I know how to film. I learned the basics, not thinking they'd actually have me film. And they were like, yeah, okay, give it a shot. I was like, oh, okay. And so I went up and I did my best, and I was so nervous, and they loved what I did. And they were like, in fact, you're going to be our camera guy going forward. I was like,
oh,
really?
Okay.
So I did that, and then from there it was just like people I met there telling their friends, and like word of mouth, and it sort of like accidentally became my job that I became a videographer. But yeah, that's now what I do primarily, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
I was very intimidated with the camera at one point.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like the pressure's on, you know? They're like, you didn't get a shot, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, I don't want that feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Especially like live events where you can't do a take two.
Oh, I know.
Oh, no.
Like one time I got, somehow my dad was like, oh, camera filming for a wedding, a Persian wedding.
Yeah.
And
Oh, like a family member?
it was like some random person.
Oh,
It wasn't
no.
even family.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
it was all
No, that's
myself.
scary.
Terrifying.
Yeah, right?
It was before cameras were like this, like, you know, with the good quality. It was more like a camcorder I had.
Yes, I had one.
And I just felt so embarrassed because like they brought me in and I was shy.
Yeah.
And now I can be like, okay, come over here, you know, like I get it. But back then I was like, oh my God. And I would like film and they'd be like, who's this person? You know, like, they'd be like, are you like a family member that's taking pictures?
Oh, no.
Who are you?
It's so bad. And then I looked at the camera and the quality just sucks. I'm like, oh my God, this is just embarrassing. I just I hated every part of it.
I relate so much to that. Every time for the past few years when I would get a new client, it felt like starting over, and I was nervous and I'd be scared to film. Finally, for the first time in my life, I'm at a point where like I feel very at home filming on a set specifically.
Makes me happy.
But being on camera is new and terrifying.
I feel that way too sometimes.
I think you're a natural, so I don't know why you're terrified. You're great.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What is a day in your life as you?
Yeah,
as
day
Chris?
in the life of Chris.
Yeah.
I wake up early, go to set for whoever I'm filming for that day, which is every day. I film every day, by the way. I
Oh, wow.
almost never have a day off. It's so rare.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I wake up, I go, I film, and it's usually very relaxed and very, very, very small set.
Yes.
And we film sketch, laugh, have fun, go home. Sometimes I edit, sometimes I don't.
Oh, okay.
And that's every day.
Wow.
I film, edit, and on the rare day off, try to get some sleep.
Oh my gosh, you're busy.
But I want to so badly be making content for my channel now, because for the first time ever, again, I'm doing that, and I was sort of like by friends and people watching on the Shane Dawson podcast that I'm on, are like saying, we want to see videos from you, and so now I feel obligated to do that, and excited to do it, but it feels like there's no time to do that.
So that's doing all the other stuff. It's like when you have your own time, you know.
Exactly. But I love all of it. I mean, it's like I'm so grateful to have work. Period. It's so hard to get work anyway in the entertainment industry.
It's true.
So I'm like,
tough.
Most of the friends I went to film school with had to go home. You know, had to like leave the state and go home, and that's just the case for a lot of people. So to be able to pay rent in LA, doing what I love is like, I feel like I won the lottery, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Compared to some people that are like in the cubicle and then you're just there and miserable and black and white. I just see like sadness. You're like, at least you're enjoying it, you know? It's like your hobby, you know? You love
You're doing what you love.
You're doing what you love.
And most of my clients are my friends now.
Oh, that's good. That's really good when your clients are your friends, because then it's like if you're not happy about something, it's not awkward.
That's why when I saw that I was like, oh wait, I watch him, and then also, oh my god, like
you actually watch? I assumed not. I don't know why.
I watch, I definitely, and I'm like, whenever you come, I'm like, oh, you're so cute, you know, it's like,
and even on we watched even the podcast that you do with Shane Dawson, and you're like I love Shane Dawson, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's Shane Dawson,
so
but you are like one of my favorite characters on that show. Yeah, because
do you really mean
I really mean that. I really mean that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Because you're quiet on the show. You know, you're a little bit more of the quiet one. But when they come to you, you're so real. I feel that you're real. You know, you're not faking it. You're not being fake. You're just
when you don't like a flavor or something, you say like, oh, I don't like it.
And I feel that genuineness come out. You know, and that's what I love about it.
I feel warmth when I'm in front of the TV. I'm like, oh.
I watch it going, I could be friends with that guy. I want to be friends with that guy. Yes,
that's absolutely the nicest thing you could have said. Thank you so much. Yeah, I always worry because I'm new to all of this. So I'm like, I hope I'm doing okay. I hope like.
Well, you know when they tell you just be yourself, I feel like you really are just being yourself. You know?
So it's okay that I'm having anxiety attacks every time.
So as far as the collaborations you've done with these other, social media, what is the most important collaboration that you think you've done that's helped you to boost your career and see where you are now?
I think definitely the Shane Dawson podcast. I think of all the things. I mean, also the SIP, which is Shane's husband's podcast as well. I'd say those in combination.
So you do both of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, all of them have helped. All of my clients have been so kind. One of them I have to shout out is a woman named Laura Clary, who's the sweetest woman ever.
Really?
And every time I ever need advice or anything, she's always there for me, and she's always making calls for me and giving me really practical life advice because she's been through it. She acted for many years. Oh wow. Now she's making videos on Instagram and stuff, so she's kind of seen it all and done it all already. So she's like, okay, here's where I went wrong, here's where I went right.
Oh, that's good.
She's really helped me out. But yeah, the Shane Dawson podcast and the SIP podcast were the first times any client asked me to be in front of the camera, which was horrifying. This is the theme of this interview. And I remember I don't know if I said out loud or just thought no, that's okay. When they asked me to be in front of the camera, and he was like, we're gonna talk to you anyway. Let's put you in front. I was like, okay. And I genuinely thought they would cut to me once for 4 seconds, and I would not be a part of the podcast for the rest of it. Is what I assumed. Yeah. But
you're like a character. Yeah, you are a part of it. That's it.
And so that really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And if you watch the first episode to the most recent episode, I have a lot of people commenting saying oh my God, Chris, you've gotten more comfortable, and reminding me that I have, I guess, grown and become more confident, sort of.
That's cool. And I've always thought that was the cool thing about YouTube and stuff is you're able to go back and see and watch and go, oh wow, that's where I started.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice to see, and it's nice to have people letting me know, like you, that oh, you've accomplished things, and you both said. And this is hard for me to accept, but you were you inspire people.
You do.
That's crazy for me to hear.
Yeah. Oh no, we have an intern at Channel 36, and I think the only reason he even got into this was because of you.
Are you serious?
I am not even kidding.
That could make me cry.
I know. We should have brought him over.
cool.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
and he was like, "You're gonna meet him! Oh my gosh!" Like, and we wish he could have came, but he actually had school today, so he couldn't even. And I guess it's getting close to his like finals and whatnot. So,
Yeah, it is
or
the
else he'd
time.
be here, because he
That's
wanted
so
to just come
cool.
and meet you. Like,
Yeah. It's okay.
You inspired him that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have another time
Yeah.
when he comes over.
And
That's
it's because you do talk about how, like, you know, you started here and you worked your way and you've made mistakes along the way, but you still kept through it.
yeah.
You know?
You're consistent, you know.
And
Don't
that's
let
it.
anything stop you.
And I think some kid who's watching you and he's like, I'm not really sure, all of a sudden he sees, oh, wait, if Chris can do it, maybe I can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where he got it.
I mean, that means more to me than anything. Because
Yeah.
as a kid watching movies, being on YouTube, like there were so many people I admired and looked up to, but like there weren't so many people that looked exactly like me necessarily.
Yeah.
And so that's also a really exciting thing for me, is to be like, you know, the first Latino man on the Shane Dawson podcast, or to be, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that's an exciting thing for me. And my mom reminds me of that a lot, and she's like, you're representing Peru. And I'm like, I can't represent all of Peru. That's way too much pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I should be the last person
Too
representing
much
Peru.
about Peruvian anything.
No, you don't really. No.
So it's like,
You're going to go
thank
back
you.
to Peru and they're going to have a parade for you.
But to the person you said that wish they could be here but they were at school, I just wanted to say that I felt truly that I had zero connections. I felt that there was no way for me to turn this into a living practically, but I just worked so hard for so many years and never gave up. And it's been a very long time. It's been many years.
Yeah.
But finally something's coming of it. So like truly, if he
Yeah.
if he doesn't
Yeah.
give up, that like, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. So like,
You hear that, Kenny? You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is. He's an intern for us, so that's great.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Chris, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself that you'd like to add, or
Yeah.
I mean,
any cool stories?
I know. Do you have any cool stories?
Any gossip?
Oh,
I know.
no.
You're so funny.
No gossip, nothing
Okay.
exciting. But I mean, just I appreciate this so much. I appreciate that you
We appreciate it.
allowed me to be here and do this. Like, it means the world to me. Thank you for being my first like real interview.
Oh.
Yeah, this means so
Thank
much
you.
to me. So thank you.
Of course, when hair's like, oh, there's like,
Yeah, this wind is.
this wind is
just
not
lovely.
being. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Was
you.
there
Yes.
anything you wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
add?
anything you wanted to add.
Yeah.
No, just that I
Any cool
appreciate you both
stories?
and this so
Aw.
much. I mean,
All right.
I said it, but I really mean it so much.
Oh.
Like, this means the world to me. So,
I'm not crying because of, well, I'm crying because I'm so happy to meet you, but wow, this wind is like, whew. I have sensitive eyes.
Yeah.
me too.
Sure,
I
go
was
with
Zadador before this interview.
Really?
Interview. I'll learn English
It's
one day.
okay, me too. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really wonderful to meet you.
Yes,
This
it's
has
so
been
cute.
so fun.
It's really true.
I could
He's
just
really
sit here all
adorable.
day and we just
I know,
talk
we
and
could just
hang
chat
out.
and like maybe
I'm
film
down.
sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring out the wine and have a glass right now. Actually. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Oh, Diana, I really loved Chris. His story is so inspirational.
Yes, he is just a genuinely nice guy.
Yes.
His story is very inspirational.
Yes.
And I love that he's like into movies and his whole idea of how he went from working with editing to going to the camera to now being in front of the
Yes.
camera. I mean,
So
just
good.
watching his transformation and hearing about it, very cool.
I feel like I relate to him so much. You
Yes.
know, all the things that he went through, I felt like I went through it in a different way, but the same, you know?
And I think he's our new best friend.
I know. I can't wait to hang out with him again and try
Yeah.
Peruvian food.
Absolutely. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. So we're going to go and try some Peruvian food right now.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely see you next time. So get out there and experience life. Bye-bye.